Hey guys, welcome back to a returning project, an unfinished project that is not really going to get finished until maybe a year from now because we're repeating some things. But yeah, I went ahead, as you can probably tell, created a brand new Animal Crossing Gamecube town. I went and I walked around our old town and it was a mess. So I created a brand new town, talked to KK here, had Rover. Um, set this up. I actually set this up on Labor Day on my day off, and during the early afternoon, I was just chilling out in the room, and I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I've been watching a Let's Play by Torx, which you can go check him out. You can find him. I'm subscribed to him. Watching his Animal Crossing GameCube Let's Play, and was like, I really want to play this again. Because New Leaf, I've kind of haven't played New Leaf all summer. I didn't really play much Animal Crossing this summer, which is kind of a shocker. But I wanted to go ahead and do GameCube because I really enjoy doing the journals with you guys. There's a whole audience out there that likes the journals and wants to see them some more. And then I also never really finished this Let's Play because I only went through New Year's, and then I didn't cover any of the holidays or any of the things during the time of the year. I never got all the bugs. There's a couple other things I never did, and we never saw anything basically from New Year's Day all the way through into the summertime, into June when I started it. I think it was June when I started it last year. So unfortunately, I've missed some of the stuff over the summer. There's a couple things I would have liked to have done, specific to August, so that I could help get the bugs and fish, so that when springtime rolled around, I could complete them. So now we have to wait for summer to return again, even though it's just missed it by, a day or so, which is unfortunate. But this project is going to just be updated whenever. I've recorded, this is a week later. I've recorded, 5 or 6 journals. I'm going to edit and put them together. They won't be uploaded on the day that they recorded, obviously, because those days happened already. A lot of the times I just record, and most of the stuff will be post-commentary. There'll be a couple days that it's live commentary, because I am getting a new roommate, so I had a couple days without a roommate, so I was able to do some live commentary ones, and then my new roommate's coming in. I just met him today, and I have to see if it'll be post-commentary again, most likely. But I talked to Rover, and anyways, we rolled in at the train station. I got the normal character because I answered all the questions basically the way I would do, kind of obviously. Or honestly, rather. So here we are in Corova. I think it was Corolla was the town last time. So this time we're doing Corova, which if you do know where Corolla is and about Corolla, Corova is just a bit farther north, and it's more rural and more out there, and that's where all the more of the ponies are. If you know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense to you. So anyways, I have Corolla. I have a kind of a neat train station. It's unfortunately not the brick one. But Tom Nook, of course, comes up and starts harassing you. He starts talking to you. He starts to make fun of you. The reason why I'm not going through every little thing in detail and I'm not explaining everything is because that's already been done. I already had those journals that explained the game. So this is just... I talk about and explain new things, but I'm not going to re-explain how everything works because I think the other journals are still plenty good for that. So I go down and pick a house. I always pick the one in the top right here with the orange roof, and that's because I love the inside of it, and I just feel right to be in the top right-hand corner. Why would you pick somewhere else? It's always weird to me. I've never played anywhere else. I really love the floor, the sound it makes. Isn't that a cool sound? In Minecraft, one of the texture packs I have, the resource packs or mods, is false steps. What is it called? Footsteps, something like that. It adds special footsteps, and as you could see, they sound really similar when you walk on anvils to when you walk on that. So I really like that. That's like my cool thing. I thought those sounded really together, so I love just running around on the anvils in my town on Avius. So I go ahead and pay Nook, and then you have to go work for him. But before I go work for him, I want to go check out the town itself to get a tour of the town to see if I even want this town. This town is rather unique. It's not the 3-level town, unfortunately, and I didn't want to restart a bunch to get it, but it has a bunch of weird stuff. We have some good neighbors, a couple weird ones like Jane, but some good ones like Mitzi and Rosie. Limburg's interesting, Sven is interesting. But we have a lot of really strange nooks and crannies around town that really won't be used for anything but whatever I would like to use them for. But otherwise, it's a pretty typical town. So other than that, it's not too crazy. No crazy islands in the middle of the river, unfortunately. But we do have a stone bridge at the top section. And I basically now run around town. The river swivels down. We have kind of a neat waterfall because it's at an angle a little bit from the other side. You can do some good fishing. This ramp is strange because it comes down and then it comes into like a pyramid shape, and the running backwards is very strange in this game, like the backwards down slope where that little star was. Museum only has one of the little corner ponds, which is a weird thing in this game. The museum has that. I do stop by the Wishing Well because Store Time is here. Let me go ahead and talk to him because I know we'll be talking to him later. Of course, you respect your grandfather the most. That helps, even though that really doesn't have any outcome as to what you actually say in the game. But we'll be back to visit him later, as it is Labor Day, and that is actually a holiday in this game. So I wanted, since I had missed the holiday a couple days before, I wanted to make sure I at least got this holiday in for sure. So down on the beach, nothing too crazy with the beaches. They're all just pretty basic. You know, a pretty good little spit of land that sticks out there, which we can have some palm trees on. I do have a really good cove, though. As you can see right here, here's a wood bridge. I have this really cool cove of sorts. It's not the best cove because the most perfect cove actually has an additional, right where I'm standing here, it would have a beach there, and that would be ocean in there. But that's actually river in there, but it's still fairly cool. And it's still really neat because it's like a little cove the lighthouse is actually guarding. A little bit of a beach there in the corner. And we've got our pond up here by the police station, which is kind of neat. This bottom right-hand corner of town is actually pretty small because the cliffs are right up above us. And we have a couple little valleys, if you will. This is like there's one full open acre here, and this is where Sven lives. And I'll be going through to talk to all the neighbors individually later, but we do have a pretty cool lake because there's the actual lake there with the lily pads, and then over here there's like a little bit of a bubble. It's like a shape of a heart, actually. So it's almost like 3 lake shapes put together, so it's a pretty big lake in itself. Another point here is it wraps around, and then up here is one of the valleys where there's room for one house, but other than that, that's it. And there's a little bit of a valley up here to the waterfall, and then the other valley is over here to the right along our fence here, or not the fence, the wall, rather. We do have peaches as our town fruit, which is just cool, I guess. And then, yes, here's the other valley up here to the right. This one's a little bit bigger. And then this corner, it's got a bush in it, which is kind of neat, but it also hinders me because I can't do too big of a garden up there because that is there, of course. This ramp is pretty basic, nothing too crazy about that ramp. But cool little area, I think, right here, this little point as well. This might be kind of cool just to pack with flowers. And then this is where the big area of town is this upper right section where there's like 3 or 4 acres that are completely just flat land. That's where all the houses and all the neighbors will likely be living, most of them. So yeah, as I was saying back before, there's a pretty good view of the waterfall from up there because it turns at the last second, which is kind of neat. So that's about it for the town, other than, I guess, the top right section here. There's the houses. We do have a lot of ponds. There's another pond. You know, the ponds usually come with the museum or the police station, but I have a lot of other freestanding ponds around town, which is really neat because I do know that you can get a town without any ponds. Zerthik, as you know, I remember his town when we played as kids had no ponds in it, and he didn't even know they existed, so he could not catch a crawfish, while the killifish you could catch in the actual river, rarely, but it was also in the ponds. The crawfish is only in the ponds, so he had to actually travel to my town to catch all of the fish, which was really interesting that was kind of a broken thing in the game, that your town could spawn without any ponds, in which case you would have not be able to catch all of the fish in itself. So that's about it for town. We're going to go ahead to Nook and do a quick summary of the jobs. Not going to spend too much time on that because you guys have all seen this before. As I said before, the purpose of this is to continue on where we left off. For me, just to have fun to share it, because every town is going to be different even when you do kind of the same things over and over again. And to provide you with new information for some things that I missed throughout the fall and for the new things that are here into the spring. Okay, so now that I went ahead and toured town, let's dive right into our work with Tom Nook. First thing he does, he has you change into your work clothes just like all before, except for a new leaf, because you don't have to work for Nook, which is kind of exciting. You just do a little tutorial for Isabel. But either way, he gives you that, and he also wants you to plant some flowers. Usually I hoard them and plant them by my own house, but I know that one of the first things I want to do is get to a perfect town, so I just went ahead and planted them here because I know this acre is going to need some love. So I was like, let me just plant all the flowers here really, really fast. I'll just dump them all, and I tried to make a nice little pattern with them, except I was too lazy to move my character to make the pattern perfect. I just assumed it would work, and it didn't really work. But yeah, so planted the flowers. It kind of did, though. Planted the flowers and planted some trees. So planted those all around so that this acre was perfect and no longer needed some love. It was no longer in a shape of despair, according to the wishing well, which we'll dive back into in a little bit. I believe last time I did get a perfect town. My last Let's Play through this, which is, what, 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was 2. It was 2 years ago. Not last year, but the year before. I'm fairly certain. Planted the last one, and then we'll go run inside, and before you do anything else, you have to go introduce yourself to everybody, including the mayor. You don't have to go introduce yourself to people like Isabel, or not Isabel, Abel sisters and stuff like that, but the mayor and the neighbors. We've already introduced ourselves to the mayor, so we just got to run around to each of the individual neighbors. The first one up is Limburg. He was playing with the basketball when I showed up, and he pushed off a cliff, and I don't know why he did that. Hey, do I know you? I don't think so, Squinky. What are you doing skulking around like that? Oh, and you say your name's Mike, isn't it? Hey, calm down. You don't need to be so scared. I'm sorry if I was mean. I'm Limburg. Nice to meet you, Squinky. Okay. Yeah, he's like the old 50-year-old single guy that lives like a slob and hasn't shaved yet today. Except for his room is like Oriental room. And it's really kind of neat. So let's play a song. Okay, not too much of a place to actually live, but it looks kind of cool and it matches. Next up is Rosie. So adorable. Her face. Hello, can I help you, or were you just captivated by my beauty, silly? It's okay, I'm just teasing you. Of course, that's not to say I don't have a lot of admirers, silly. Anyway, I'm Rosie. Who are you? Right, Mike. Nice to meet you, silly. I will talk to you forever. You are so adorable. That face. Good afternoon. Still good, silly? Hey, did you want something or what, silly? Hi. So, like, you could probably tell by just walking around Corova that we have tons of fruit trees. You know, you can pick the fruit, right? Just face them and press the A button. Fruit. You can eat it or give it to me or sell it at the shop. Who knows what else? You can, like, buy or bury it and grow it into a new tree. And you can have a full-on fruit festival or whatever she was saying about fruit. And Rosie's house. Kind of an actual house. It's kind of like hippie, like she's like 50s or 60s grooviness. I don't know why I was obsessing over instruments that day, but I was for some reason. So that was Rosie's house. Next up is Biff. Hey there, good afternoon. How you doing, Squirt? You must be right. Mike, right? I thought so. My name's Biff. It's nice to meet you, Squirt. From today on, you and I are friends. Sound good? And you know it, and it's good to make new friends, Squirt. Yep, big old guy. Maybe I should get him a really high-pitched voice. Should he have a low voice like you would think, or should it be really high-pitched? Like the unexpected, like, really big guy that has a really high voice. But Biff seems kind of cool. His house is interesting. It matches. It's like an actual living quarters and more instruments that I, of course, obsess over as well. Running around where all the neighbors are kind of clustered together. Next up is another cool one, Mitzi. Good afternoon. I think we've met before. You're new in town, aren't you? I'm happy to make your new acquaintance. I'm Mitzi. I hope we can be really good friends. See, I can't give her as dumb and girly as a voice as Rosie, because Rosie will always win out, but Mitzi's sort of in that same group. The house, of course, the nice little cute gywords with a bow. Kind of empty, a little empty. As I waltz around, waltz on the zigzagged 4. Oh my gosh, it's Mitzi's bed. Oh, run! Hey Mitzi, I was totally not just in your bed. Nope, not at all. Hey, there's one of those at lakes. Another one of them. But then there's this. There's this creature. What is it?
Well, it's not every day I see a new face around here. You're Mike, aren't you? I'm Jane. No, the pleasure's all mine. Really, chimp.
I need to give her, like, she's just like the really big girl that has makeup on. That decided to give her whole body a makeover and make herself purple. It's the gorilla that everyone's like, why are you a thing? Except for it's not. But apples! I like how they brought that back in New Leaf as an actual show that can come on, as the apples rolling across the screen. Because everybody loves apples. All of these animals are, okay, all of these animals are built around stereotypes, and this one I just don't understand the stereotype that they're trying to build with this one. It's just creepy. She's got a Santa Claus outfit in her house, too. Do you see that? Next up is Sven. Say, I don't think we've met before, have you? Which means... I need to give him a different voice than Limburg. It's nice to meet you. I'm Sven. I live right over there, but I keep to myself mostly, but please stop by if you're in the neighborhood. The big Billy Goat Gruff. And he lives in apparently a movie scene from the Wild Wild West. It's apparently his house. He lives and sleeps in the little carts and just has a giant fire raging in the middle of his house and cooks stew on his floor next to his sculptures, or next to the remnants of the burials of children, of dead children. And yeah, interesting. So that's all the neighbors. We met the mayor, so we can go back to Nook, and Nook tells us we're done because we got her done. And yeah, we run back to go do some tasks. So our first assignment here is to deliver something to Sven. We deliver that. It's not too much of a challenge at all. We run down and we give it to him. Hey, ba-da-da, what's up, ba-da-da? I don't understand that catchphrase. We give it to him. And then just like any other time, he's going to be like, oh, thank you. You're working for Nook? Wow, I didn't notice. So here, have my old piece of furniture that's just randomly selected in the game. One time I got a train car model. I remember my first piece of furniture item. I was so excited. I got that randomly for helping someone out. But otherwise, you just get something random, and then they tell you about how to move furniture in your house, yada, yada, yada. It's all just tutorial Tom stuff. Mr. Tutorial, if you will. They're all Mr. Tutorial for a little bit, and eventually I'll fight the system, and I'll get through all the Mr. Tutorials, so then they actually start to talk to me. But that's not for a little bit later. He talks a lot, actually. A pretty long conversation about furniture. Oh yeah, he's been fired before because he skips work to go do things like put furniture in his house. So I got a potbelly stove. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the potbelly stove, but fall is coming, so I guess it's better to have that as a heater than no heater. Now, because I was right next to it and I haven't checked it yet, I went ahead to the police station to check to see if there's any going-ons. This is actually really interesting, though. This was by accident. Copper references the fact that I'm working, which means that there's actually a line in the game that you can only see. Like, that's just detail. That's what I like. That's a little detail that if you go out of your way to talk to the neighbors, like, he's going to not tell you about the fact that Gracie's coming in a day or two. He's going to tell you about the fact that you're still working on your job, and good luck to it. So this is one of those little lines that you only see right then and there, and it's really kind of cool. So we go in here. There's always a furniture and 2 shirts in the lost and found by default. Again, they're random items. There was nothing special from them, really, so I went ahead and picked them up to sell them regardless, and just went ahead to do that because that was the first day. I tried the shirts on. The gelato one's a Christmas sweater shirt. Didn't really feel like wearing that, but this one was okay. It was kind of like a little fall sweater, but it just still wasn't my thing. So I kept it on anyways because why not? Because why not? It's better than the work uniform, except for Nook doesn't really approve. Oh! Why'd you change out of your uniform? Just who gave you permission to do such a thing? I swear, what is it with kids these days? Always needing a casual workplace. Why, when I was young, I suppose I must change with the times. Yes, go on with your hipness. Wear whatever you like. But you can't wear anything that might make any customers feel uncomfortable, yes? At this point, I won't budge. That's just the way society works, you understand? Sometimes you have to obey the rules. So I feel bad and I put it back on anyways, but I just like seeing the angry red text because that's such a rare thing to see. So I'm apparently a worker bee, and yeah, I earned 230 bells for that. So yeah, he then gives me a map, which is nice because I can finally do things on your own. So you do have to do this in order to collect a map for yourself. And now that we have this map, it's a little bit easier, but we do have to write a letter. I was not paying attention while I was reading this, so I didn't know who to write the letter to, so I actually had to stop the recording to like go back and watch it to see who I had to write the letter to. But anyways, I get a piece of paper, and we get ready to write a letter to send to Limburg to continue on with our job. And I use that stationery. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Season 10 of Tornado Survival has begun. Click here in the top right to see the first episode in that series. If you'd like to check out my Minecraft server Avius, click here in the top left. Click the link below to follow me on Twitter to get the latest on my channel. And if you've liked what you've seen so far, click the big banner below to subscribe.